let's go into the studio. I recently had a chance to hang up lots of random stuff. Most of it was made by people I've met through my Twitch stream, or like this one is an old drawing I did. One of my favorite maps. And this is my little, I don't know, feel-good shrine. There's all sorts of cool stuff that inspires me, and I don't know, it just puts me in a good mood. Little things that I found throughout Scotland in my travels, or I guess all over the world really. One of my favorite postcards. So random. Eventually I'll get around to hanging the rest of the artwork, but there's just so much. I can't quite afford to get all the frames yet. This is a banner I bought like a while ago for the off chance that I might do like a festival or something, or have like a booth somewhere, but I still haven't done that, so it just chills on my wall. And back to the dresser. Okay, this used to be full of clothes, and then I took it over for my art stuff. And inside each drawer just is a hodgepodge of stuff. This one is all sorts of little art supplies that I need on a daily basis or weekly basis. This one is snacks and chocolate. This one is the best drawer ever. It's full of my prints that I sell on my Etsy shop, and organized by different genres, I guess, but it makes me happy. This one is full of like sort of, I guess, works in progress or bigger pieces of art that I just wanted to store somewhere, or little things like this that, I don't know, I just never really found a home for. This is like cards and artwork and various things that I've got in the mail, or artwork that I still want to frame that I've got from other artists, but I just wanted to keep it safe in here. And the other two drawers are very similar. The bottom one is just junk. Very cheap printer, just for the standard office printing. This is my art supply bin, where I keep a lot of, here I'll show you. This is all old, not old, but previous works that I've painted that I sell on Etsy or just have, I just want to keep safe. So I keep in here all stacked up nicely. This is like my drawer of paper, I guess. And I have all sorts of different stuff. Watercolor postcards, arches, blocks. I even have graphite transfer paper in there. This is my sketchbook drawer. Lots and lots and lots of sketchbooks. Almost all of them are Moleskine. That's my preferred sketchbook because I do a lot of mixed media and I like to take it out in the wild with me. It's just perfect for that. This is a total mix of supplies like pencils and ink for the printer and pastels and all sorts of other stuff. Big sketchbook down here. My Cheez-It and Cheeto store. And yes, that is a pallet of Cheez-Its. My friend sent them to me because he knew I had trouble finding them in Scotland. That's my go bag, as I call it. That's what I grab when I'm going out into the wild and painting outside. It's pretty much stocked up with everything I need. I usually just have to throw in like a little sketchbook or something like that. There's some bags with like electronics and my laptop bag down there too. This area is my canvas and large paper storage, and as you can see I have a huge canvas ready to go on the easel, just waiting for the inspiration. Some smaller canvases down there. Right here, this is all vertical flat storage that I have, my old or previous large watercolor paintings that I've done. Actually, watercolor and gouache. It's a little hard to see down here, but yeah. Just to keep them safe, as well as a couple large paper blocks, or not paper blocks, but like these are actually toned paper. Down here is my embarrassing little hideaway for so many random things that I use all the time. There's acrylic, there's palettes in there, there's markers, there's all sorts of stuff. But since I sit here, I just wanted to have it a little bit easier to grab on the go. This is my main area. Ooh, it's a little bright. This is my main area that I sit every day. I do my live streams here. That's why you can see this camera. And I have my vertical tabletop easel there. That's an 18 by 24 Arches paper block, and on which is a current work in progress. That's a commission that I'm working on, and have all sorts of little painting supplies at arm's reach. This is my gouache palette for this current painting. You can see my mouse and mouse pad are custom designed by me. Microphone for streaming, laptop. Back here I have all sorts of brushes and little things, some photos, and an old calendar that I need to get rid of. This is my, I don't know what to call it. This little storage thing it actually has wheels so it can roll around, but I just basically store stuff on top that I use on a daily basis. Like I have all of my paints and so I can like refill my palettes. This is full of gouache, coffee, just random pens and pencils and paper towels and all sorts of stuff. Rulers. This is just kind of like a catch-all drawer, but I use this stuff every day, so I just can't like have it too far. This entire drawer is full of shipping supplies, and this is all just electronics. Here's another space that makes me really happy. It's just little things that I've received from people or that I've painted, or yeah, things that make me happy again. I like to surround myself with cute things and, I don't know, things that are interesting. Here's a dream catcher that I made. This is my view every day, and pretty typical Scottish day here. I know everyone's like, oh, it's so rainy in Scotland, and it is rainy in Scotland, but most days I have half a day of sun at least, and then in the afternoon, evening, it kind of shifts to misty, rainy days. But yeah, it just totally varies, and I do get a lot of sun, and this room is great for letting it in. There's a few things that I have hanging on the wall just for convenience. This is my little corner of randomness. These are my friends. They hang out with me. We talk to each other. We're cool. No big deal. There's me in my typical studio attire, which is basically just me being a bum. Back here we have a few more things. A little heater because it gets kind of chilly in here. I have my hats hanging up, which I finally did because they were just getting crushed in my closet. I have an old painting I did. That's one of my favorites. I'm kind of a Halo fan. And by kind of, I mean I spent like 10 years of my life obsessed with that game. This is a Colorado flag because I used to live in Colorado. And then back to the beginning. And this is kind of embarrassing, but this closet is full of boxes and packaging supplies, and I've been meaning to clean it up. Also some of my some of my random stuff, like my Christmas stockings. But yeah, this closet is just a hot mess and needs attention desperately. But instead, I just do this. Yay, it doesn't exist anymore. And last but not least, my throne. This is a super, super comfy GT Omega racing chair, I guess it's called, and on top of which I keep my friend Totoro and my Ravenclaw scarf. Oh, and how can I forget? Down here, this is my super cozy fake fur carpet rug thing. That's actually some more giant packing paper and a few larger paper blocks that I use pretty frequently. So I was just setting up to record some painting, and this happened. I was moving this camera, and as I pulled it away from the table, the cord knocked over my water dish, which was sitting on the edge of the desk like an idiot anyway. So yeah, that's actually sadly not that uncommon. I do spill and splash paint everywhere very often, which is is why it's good that I have hardwoods in here. Hardwood floors are a painter's best friend. It is now raining, and that happened within a matter of like 10 minutes, and that is actually really common in Scotland. Everywhere I've gone, the weather can change so fast. You just never know. So when I'm out painting and stuff, I am prepared for any type of weather, and I often do get rained on, but I've actually come to enjoy that aspect of exploring in Scotland. So when I first sit down to paint, pretty much the first thing I do is open YouTube and put on one of my subscriptions that I watch. I follow tons of artists on YouTube, and I try to keep up with how often they post, which is quite frequently because there's so many. And then I also get my reference photos and kind of just put them wherever I need to on the screen, depending on how many I have. And then I spend a while just looking. I look at what I've already painted. I think about where I want to take it next. I just give myself time with the painting before I start. If I'm streaming on Twitch, it's a totally different situation. In that case, I have to have all of my stuff ready on my computer, and pretty much I have to have 5 or 6 hours of painting and have all my supplies ready and have snacks and all of that, and I'll be very actively engaging with the chat. So it's a totally different type of painting session. This one, obviously, I'm just alone in my studio doing my own thing. It's very relaxing, and I kind of actually get lost and I completely zone out most times. I was a little more conscious of what I was doing because I knew I was recording it, but even after a few minutes of that, I just kind of, zoned out and just got lost in the painting. There's actually times when I sort of snap out of it and I, wake up suddenly out of my daydream and I'm like, oh my God, how did I paint? When did I paint that? And I just look at my painting kind of like stunned. I actually see a lot of value in quiet times and being in silence, so I don't always have something playing in the background, but I do tend to get, I don't know, I still sort of feel lonely sometimes without something in the background, so sometimes I'll mute it for a while, sometimes I'll pause it and just be in silence with my painting, and then I'll go back to listening to whatever it was. And throughout the painting process, I kind of make sure I take time to sit back, look at what I'm doing, observe it from different perspectives maybe, and yeah, take little breaks here and there, stretch, get more water, get snacks and stuff.
The opportunity to open it, and I think now is the time, so let's go.
A painting of this size can take me a very long time, upwards of 20 to 30 hours, and a lot of that is because it's so there's so much tiny detail. As you can see, the size of my brush compared to the canvas itself is pretty obnoxious.
Period, with its roots way back into the past, drawing its sustenance and inspiration from way back.
Some days I just can't get into an inspired mindset that's conducive to painting. Usually that happens when I'm dealing with a lot of like personal stuff or struggles. So in order to continue forward, I usually just dive into something that's a little more tedious, but I just stay really productive. So I had recently placed a huge order for super amazing archival quality prints from a local printer and received them in the mail the other day, and oh my god, when I opened it I almost fell over because they just look so good in person. The paper is smooth and just luxurious, and anyway, I had the task ahead of me to sign all of them and put them all in their little protective cello bags. But I was just waiting for a day when I just wasn't in the mood for painting. And that day came yesterday. So I sat down and it took about 2 hours to do all of them. I also had received some limited edition prints, so I needed to sign and number all of those as well. But in the end, I was so excited to have this huge pile of art, which is I'm selling through my Etsy shop, and you can find that link below in the description if you're interested. But this is just kind of a typical task that I'll do to stay busy and productive, even if I'm not in a good mindset for painting or creativity. As some of you guys know, I do a weekly artist blog, and lately, well, in the new year, I started doing weekly updates of my forest year adventures, and so that's another task that I haven't been extremely diligent about keeping up with. I've missed 1 week already, but I did catch up yesterday and today and posted the new blog post. Writing doesn't come really natural to me, so it's definitely a challenge to do these blog posts, but I've been getting better over time, and it's been a really rewarding experience, and it's been helping me a lot when it comes to working on my actual book that I'm writing. Sometimes I'll go days without really feeling creative, and I'll fill those days with all of the other types of work that I do, but then eventually I do get back into my creative mindset. If I'm patient with myself and I allow that time for self-care, my paintings always end up being much better, and I actually enjoy it so much more. So it's just something that I learned over time that I need to do for myself. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking time off from painting or drawing or whatever you do. And I think as artists, we identify our success very strongly with how prolific we are, how productive we are. And so when we're not working, we start to feel guilty and maybe feel like something's wrong with us. But you really just have to be kind and patient to yourself. Give your mind some time and freedom to just get through whatever it's working on so that you can free up that energy for you to get back to your creative endeavors. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you have any questions about the studio tour or anything you saw in the video today, let me know in the comments below. And if you have ideas for future videos you want to see from me, let me know as well. And yeah, I will see you soon. I'm still working on that gouache tutorial video, but it's coming along slowly. I'm gonna try to have that ready within a couple weeks. All right, I will see you next time.